We're having a conversation about the big Agenda 111 debate. This is an election year after all, and it's a major electoral promise. This current government made that promise to build 111 hospitals in districts across the country. It has become a controversial subject now, and it is one that is splitting the two parties, but it's an important one because it's about health. And a lot has been said about its feasibility or otherwise. And John Mahama got into that particular subject and has thrown up a fair bit of controversy since then. And we're going to be talking about that a bit. But I want to go through the numbers. It's all a numbers game quickly before I sit down so that we understand what we are talking about. The first number to look at is a number that a lot of conversations about is 111. And that simply is what I said at the beginning. It's as simple as it gets. Building 111 hospitals in districts across the country. The second number I want to talk about is this number. And that number is important too because we begin to break the issues down a bit more. We'll talk about how much. We also will talk about where. And 111 is a very important number, but there are a few additional numbers that are important also to consider in this matter. Three numbers. 102. That is the district hospitals. And then we have 7 regional hospitals, and then we have 2 psychiatric hospitals. That's what it's about, right? Those are 3 numbers, very important to pay attention to in terms of what the president said they're going to do. Then there's a third set of numbers I wanted to tell you about. This is a third set of numbers, right? It relates to dates. April 2020, that's when the promise was first made. And we go to August 2017, 2021. That's where sword was cut. And then you come to October 2023, and that is where we were told that 89 hospitals have so far, in terms of the percentage, 57% complete, are so far 52% complete. So timelines are important, right? And then we go to 18 months on. We were told that 18 months to completion. That is the president's own timeline at the time of cutting the sword. At the time, look at the timelines when we began. At the time he cut the sword, he said 18 months it would take to complete this. Then another number jumps at you because once you hear the president say 18 months to complete, you then have to measure it against where we are currently. So where are we currently with this? We are in the territory of 31 plus months. And that is another number that I need to drum home because we're again tracking from the moment he made the promise to where we are now, 31 months since the commencement, right? So the government is behind time. By how many months? And that is important too. 11 months, and that number is also important. That, according to the government's own schedule, 30 months behind schedule. 30 months behind schedule. And these are numbers that are important, but it just explains very adequately for you what the promise was, what the timelines were, and where we are currently with 30 months behind schedule. So if it's 30 months behind schedule, can it be delivered within time is a big question. And then you also look at cost per hospital. A lot of numbers indeed, but they are important. 17.6 million USD is what one hospital will cost under the Agenda 111. If you look at it in the computation terms, we're talking about $1.6 billion is what it's going to cost us to have all the hospitals built. But then, once you look at the numbers, the question then is, where are we finding $1.9 billion to build? John Mahama says it looks one that isn't feasible, it's not realistic. It has angered the minority in Parliament, and there's a conversation to be had. This is an election year. We believe it may find itself in the party's manifesto. If you go back to the NDC 2020 manifesto, they also have their own agenda to build significant number of hospitals, 80 plus hospitals. So they all are talking about access, because that's what it is. Building hospitals in districts will give you access. So they are very similar. And this year we'll be doing a lot of scrutiny in terms of these promises. At least now we can talk about the president's own promise. Considering where the economy is, 1.9 billion for one hospital, how is it possible to have all that? My guests are joining me for a conversation in Parliament, really. The chairman of the Health Committee and the ranking of the Health Committee in Parliament are both here with me for a conversation. Hopefully, at the end of the day, you can make up your minds what is feasible and what is not. They'll sit down for a conversation after this. And Syntax Thanks brings you PM Express, also by Alomo Bitters and Ghana AIDS Commission and Pepsodent, indeed. And I always recommend to use Syntax Thanks. No matter your water needs, Syntax Thanks has it all for you. It is a tank that introduces a double layer tanks, and it's also bespoke because you can get any size or preference you want. You can also get 7 years warranty. They are across the country. Call them on 0244 335 168 or shop online at syntaxgh.com. Syntax Thanks are your strong, are your tough. Pepsodent Cavity Fighter. It's also very important because it is fortified with pro-fluoride and micro calcium ingredients, sealing tiny and invisible holes in your teeth. And it comes in all forms of packs. It has a 175G big family pack, all the way down to 12G sachets. So you can always get what you can afford at any time. Pepsodent, every smile matters. My guest is joining me here for a conversation on this very important policy proposal by the NDC. But of course, this government had also made not a proposal anymore because they are in government and they are implementing this. The question is about feasibility, and I've told you what the numbers say. They are 13 months behind time, but the president says it can be done. The time they started, again, going back to the numbers, it was 18 months to completion. We know that it's now 31 months since that sort was cut. But the question really remains, is it feasible? John Mahama has waded into this and caused a fair bit of controversy. Kwabena Kando then is a ranking member on the Health Committee, joins us in the studio. He is an MP for Dwaboso. Also joining me is Dr. Nana Ayew. He is a chairman of the Health Committee of Parliament, an MP for Ifidria Sokore constituency. We'll also be talking to Dr. Emmanuel Aifa. He's a deputy country director of Send Ghana. They've been monitoring the progress of the project across the country. Dr. Free, let me bring you in first.
Okay.
Today you had a press conference.
Yes, I did.
Why?
Very good evening to your listeners. Basically, the press conference led by myself on behalf of the majority was to drum home a situation, if not checked, and if we don't grow out of it, this country will be led by leaders based upon what they say and not what they mean. And that is based upon the expose by the former president that we should have focused on Agenda 111 by stating maybe we'll do about 40 hospitals. And he think was over-ambitious position by the president, and then also was unrealistic. I think that that couldn't have been the position of the former president.
Why?
It makes him absolutely inconsistent. That's why I brought the manifesto of the NDC.
What is the manifesto of the NDC?
The manifesto of the NDC in 2020, in page 64, items P, Q, and R, which I would stand to let the public know that indeed the manifesto is supposed to be what we say when you win elections in public policy. Is a crashia cartus, is a binding, a major decision policy document that guides you to rule. So therefore, you don't joke with manifestos in any country. Manifestos interventions are supposed to be culturally acceptable, politically wise, financially okay, sustainable. And therefore, before you put it in, you know exactly what you want to do. Now, if you go into the NDC manifesto of 2020 in page 64, you look at item P, it says that they will construct regional hospitals in the 6 new regions and the Western region. And this is a fundamental principle encompassed in Agenda 111. Now, it also states that it will provide district hospitals in districts where there is none. Now, in this country, there's only 88 hospitals that has no district hospital. So if the NDC manifesto is saying that it's going to provide district hospitals in districts that has none, it means automatically it's going to establish 88 district hospitals, plus 6 regional hospitals and 1 for Western region. It also states in R that it will establish 2 non-infectious disease centers, and that put it to 96. Now, therefore, what was the reason why the NDC came out with this? Was it based upon thinking that it's mere talk, mere rhetoric? And if you say we are over-ambitious and we could have cut it to about 40, you are going to 96. So what were you thinking about when you were going for yours? And what were we also thinking about? We would go for optimism. All over the world, there have been leaders who have been bold. They will come out with a policy and people will say, no, you can't do it. They may start and others will complete it. In history, they are vindicated. And Nado's position is premised on the fact that he's bold about the decision. He wants, by 2030, universal access to healthcare, quality, affordable access to everybody. It's there for each and everyone. It is based upon how the glass is half full, half empty. He wants to look at half full as optimism. And he's saying that I'm going to get this done. And he's clear about it. If he doesn't get it done, it's a dream of Ghana. Get it done. And that is better than none.
Can he get it done?
He can get it done. But obviously, you can't complete it. Longitudinal trends, which you can do your research now, shows that. In history since 1992, every government that has succeeded in having hospitals have not gone beyond 12. President Kufuor, he did 6, and Eurojet was bringing him another 6 to be 12. And he could not achieve that because Eurojet has been stored until now that they are completing. The NDC were able to start some. The NMS projects were about 5 or 6 of them. They could obviously finish Dodua. The LCs could not extend to do the phase 2 of several of their hospitals. It was this government that is completing it because healthcare it does not look at the NDC or look at MPP as a medical doctor. I don't look at my patients as NDC or MPP. So I've always advocated in Parliament, and everybody listening to me knows that in Parliament I go for a line that does not healthcare. You don't do politics with it. If you do politics with it, it will catch up on you. So I've always stated clearly in Parliament that I will do no politics with healthcare, and I will say it as it is. As we speak now, I think the former president has no basis to have come into
But you said that the current president cannot complete all 111 hospitals. That is a classic definition of a policy proposal that is overambitious.
No.
But if you can't do it...
No, it's not you can't.
But you've made you use the word can't.
Yes, I have stated in Parliament...
But that is overambition.
No, that is not overambition.
Because you use the word overambitious.
That is subjective. Overambitious is subjective.
Ambitious is setting yourself targets that you know you can fulfill.
Absolutely, that is the imaginative thinking of a president who also wanted to be a president in 2020, and former president wanted to be a president in 2020. And he also set a target for himself and says that you should go for 40 when you clearly is looking for 96. So I just want to defeat that thinking by John Mahama that he couldn't have stated that. Because if you think others were over-ambitious, then you were also overtly over-ambitious.
But you and John Mahama actually fundamentally agree that the ambition to build 111 hospitals in districts across the country is not feasible within the time frame he had. You said each government have managed the maximum.
The source of funding.
The maximum hospitals each government have built is what? 12.
Yes, but obviously
your own statistics.
Backs
the former president's point.
That is what makes Nanado's vision different. Now, by the end of this year, they would have been going almost to about 50 or 60 of them would be completed. And that would be novelty, like it's never happened. Like people will tell you, if you're looking at conservative minds, they will tell you that you couldn't have done 60 in 8 years. It's not possible because you just look at precedents. And the argument is that if precedents has always looked at 10 or 12, why wouldn't you talk about 20? But he's been able to do, by December, he's going to look at about 60 or 70 done.
Hold on for me for a second.
60 or 70
He is right, though, is it not? That the basis
glass is half full.
The basis of John Mahama's accusations and criticism and skepticism is unfounded. It actually reeks of double standards. Because you have in your manifesto to do even more aggressive construction of hospitals.
It's not only overly ambitious, but it's a special purpose vehicle created to siphon money to satisfy family and friends.
Oh.
Yes, that's what it is.
But there's no evidence.
Right, I'm coming. I'm talking. I've just begun.
And you have to prove that.
No problem. I will do that. I will do that. Look,
okay, all right.
In the history of Ghana, health infrastructure has always been supervised by the ministry in the history of Ghana, health infrastructure. And we have competent people in the ministry, a special department or unit created for that purpose. As to how we created another bureaucracy at the presidency for this purpose beat every reasonable Ghanaian's mind. That's number one.
But that is not, again...
That's number one. I'm building
not
my
any
point.
evidence. It's not an evidence.
I'm building my point, Evans. Just take time. Number two, I have personally gone round with some members, your reporters, who've gone round to some site where people have taken mobilization more than a year down the lane and absolutely nobody is at the site. I personally, including your reporters. And there are people, nobody at the site. If it is not to satisfy family and friends, what is it? Again, if you go to the Ministry of Health, we have standard prototypes of district hospitals, standard design. But we again engage David Ajayi and paid millions of Ghana cedis to him to redesign. If it is not to satisfy family and friends, what is it? So from the beginning, the onset till now, there are bizarre circumstances up to date.
But none of the things you cited is evidence to suggest that there is corruption, which in essence, in the summary, is what you're suggesting there is.
The system is opaque. There's no transparency. As you said there, when did they open tender for bidding of that project? Do you know? Tell me.
But those are self-evident facts, but it doesn't amount to corruption.
I am saying that.
But that was your allegation at the start.
It is.
You concede that you don't have evidence to back that position.
Look, everything surrounding this particular project
raises questions.
Points to the fact that it's an attempt to satisfy family and friends. So you can give it a different description.
You've qualified as an attempt.
No, I'm saying that.
By the beginning, you were very categorical.
You can give it any description you want. You understand? So the beginning to the end is problematic. Number two, Evans. In the beginning of this project, as you projected, is estimated at not less than 1.9
billion
dollars.
Yes.
Okay. Let me take you back a little bit. If you recall, the president promised constructing 88 district hospitals in April 2020. If you recall, during the COVID address. Now, after the promise, then there was another company called Core One, Core One Company Limited. Listen to it carefully. Core One Company Limited, which main objective per Registrar General was to import and export of general goods. In May 2020, they then amended their object to include hospital infrastructure. And that company was renamed as Hospital Infrastructure Company in May 2020. And that company has no experience in supervision of health infrastructure. And this government gave the supervision of such a huge project to a company without any records in the supervision of health projects. This is how bizarre it all started. Now, fast forward. We realized that out of the $1.9 billion, the last time the Secretariat appeared before the committee, which my chairman chaired, they had only disbursed not more than $256 million US. So there's a gap of more than 1.5 billion. And they sat right in front of us and they told us, okay, so given the economic hardship at the moment, where are we going to get the money? Now, if President Mahama tells you that he is going to build hospitals when he becomes president, there are two clear differences here. Number one, he has a history. He has the records. And I'll name some of the hospitals to you. But before I get there, Evans. If you look at the page 63 or so that is saying paragraph Q
of your manifesto.
Of your manifesto that my chairman is referring to, it looks as though chairman has set out to set his own questions and is answering them.
So what does he say?
So let's read. Let me read the preamble. The preamble reads, to motivate to
64.
yes, and that is paragraph 7.1.3, capacity building for health, isn't it? So to motivate health workers and provide additional capacity for service provision, the next NDC government will, and let's go to the queue, provide district hospitals in districts where there is none. That's what this says.
Yes, but that amounts.
That cannot be.
But
Did you see any 88 there?
No. Read it again. Read it again.
Okay, let's read it. Provide district hospitals in district where there is none.
Where there is none.
Good. So listen to
how many district hospitals
no,
do not have?
you are getting it wrong. That's where you go wrong, and that's you are falling into the same trap.
No, they are
please.
No, I mean, but
please. You get it
Dr.
wrong.
Freer,
So please,
explain.
Relax. Under John Dramani Mohammed's administration, we said we were building E-blocks, okay, and the criteria was that we were starting with district without district without secondary school. That was the criteria. Okay, so if I say that I'm going to build hospitals, but I'm going to build these hospitals in district without district hospitals. Have I said I'm going to build all?
That's 88.
Does that mean that?
You
read
said,
it.
It's qualified. It said none.
Districts where there are none.
It's qualified.
There are none.
Yeah.
Listen carefully.
So
none here.
No.
None here.
Wait,
The first two. Evans,
Mr. Kando. It says here.
Relax.
So any district that does not have a district hospital under Joma will have one.
Look at it from this way.
of them.
Listen. Look at it from this way. I am going to build hospitals.
In areas where there are none. In districts where there are none.
Listen, please take your time. Take your time. This is different from a categorical promise, and I'll get there.
It is categorical.
When you were speaking, Chairman, I kept very quiet.
Right.
Evans,
I will.
I'm listening.
I'm saying that. My manifesto says that we are going to build district hospitals without giving any number.
No, in
listen,
district hospitals.
Take your time and listen. When I finish, you are the host of the program.
No, but
you can come in.
You have to finish your own.
I am now coming there. I have not even referred to that page. I'm starting the preambles.
But please, listen.
Dr. Free, allow him. Okay. You quoted it. You quoted the line.
Yes.
And I'm saying that the line must be complete. The line must be complete.
Listen,
when you first quoted,
I'll come back to the quote. So
you did not only say you will build. You told us where. True or false?
So what it means is that this line statement is telling you where those hospitals will be built.
Yes.
Listen.
And he also told us.
You are making this conversation very difficult.
It's not. It's your own promise. And
yes, I'm going there. I'm not running away from it.
You also told us you're not only telling us where, but you have a criteria for which place you're putting it.
Yes.
And the criteria says that place must have none.
Yes, that's the criteria.
Yes.
But does that give you a number?
And it does. And it automatically, you automatically
this
must.
This is very simple. I don't understand why.
A question to you: tomorrow, John Mahama wins elections, makes you the health minister, and says, "Mr. Kando, implement this policy for me, which I promised, to build district hospitals in districts where there are none." The first thing you will do when you put your, how many districts do we have in this country where there are no hospitals?
Yes, fantastic. You are right.
And they will tell you there are 88 districts.
But that doesn't mean that build in all the 88. What it tells you is that, Mr. Kando, we are in power. Implement this part of the manifesto. So the first thing I would do is that I have to know the number of district hospitals without hospital.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Which is 88.
Fantastic. The first thing that must come into mind, which this statement is clear on, is that the fact that we are building hospitals doesn't mean you can build it anywhere at all.
So you're saying that, you're also saying what he said, that you tell John Mahama that it's not possible to build all districts.
No, that's not what I've said.
But you're varying. You're varying the promise.
I have a lot of points to make. Don't let us waste our time. Let's leave the listeners to judge.
But I'm also interested in the argument.
Please, yes. So when we come, you allow me to make the point.
But we can't confuse the public.
And then let's allow the public to also judge from what each and everyone is saying.
Okay. So you're saying that all you know is 88.
I'm saying that.
You are not going to build it in all 88.
I'm saying that. That's not what I've said. That's not what I've said.
Okay.
I'm saying that, and listen to what I'm going to say carefully. What I am saying is that the party comes to power. We have to build hospitals. This tells you that you don't build it anyhow. Even if you are building one hospital, build it at a place where there is none. That's a clear directive by this. It doesn't mean that everywhere there is none, there will be hospital. This is logic. This is very basic mathematics in this. It's very basic. I don't know why you are refusing to understand this. But in any case, so where Chairman had his 88 is his own problem.
No, but the 88, you yourself have said it's 88 is.
I have not said 88. I'm saying that
it's a final number.
You said that.
It's a final number that follows from your promise. It wasn't invented, and you agree. I just want you to clarify that.
Evans,
that number wasn't invented.
I'm saying that.
It is a number that follows naturally from your promise.
Listen to me carefully. Yeah. Again, I am saying that we have never mentioned any 88 in our manifesto, okay? And then this statement is giving a directive where those hospitals must be built, and not necessarily all. Even if
that is your addition to the promise.
No, but that is what it says.
No, it doesn't say that.
Even if it is 10, make sure you build these hospitals where there is none.
That's a variation of.
So let's allow the listeners to judge. That is your understanding. Okay. So you think that we are saying that? Listen.
I mean, I think you.
So I've not finished. So I'm just developing the point. You see, so given the economic hardship in the system, the president indicated right on the floor of the House that he was going to, just like you said, in the initial stages, it was 18 months. Okay? Then the president came back to tell us that no, he cannot complete all the 111 hospitals in the 18 months, which the 18 months would have ended 2021, 2022. Okay? Then the president said that I am going to hand over all the 111 hospitals before I hand over as president of Ghana in January 2025. That's what the president said. Okay. Now, Evans, and again, that meeting was chaired by my chairman. When we invited Agenda 111 Secretariat before the committee to tell us about Agenda 111, listen to what they said. And this is exactly what John Mahama is saying.
What did they say?
Good. What they said was that they gave us a completion forecast. And the completion forecast they gave us says that they were going to complete 20% of the project in 2024. Listen carefully. They were going to complete the 20% of the hospitals in 2025. 2025. They were going to complete the 30% of the project in 2027. Have you heard where it's going to? By the Agenda 111 Secretariat. And then they further told us that they were going to complete the remaining 30% after 2027. They don't even know when it will be completed. And this is a president who stood on the floor of the House and told us that he was going to deliver all the 111 hospitals before he hands over as president. And His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is saying that it was overly ambitious. And you are left with 8 months. He didn't make this statement at the beginning of 2020. He didn't make this statement in 2021. He didn't make this statement in 2023. President Mahama is making this statement in 2024, where you are left with only 8 months to go, and out of the 111 hospitals, you have not completed a single one.
Hold on. Chairman, is this document authentic?
Let me give it to him.
Yes.
The rank.
Yes. I mean, he sets his own questions, and I still come back. I don't want to confuse. I don't want to confuse. I don't want. He's had a good time to speak.
But it's important to verify.
Evans,
it is important to verify the authenticity.
I have soft copies. I should think is this.
So it's authentic.
Absolutely, I should think it's. But the content of his exposition.
But it's important.
It's rather confusing the public, and I think we should.
We'll come to the substance, but we will come to that. But I want to clarify this.
I have
that the Agenda 111 Secretariat told you
that
they cannot complete all the hospitals this year They can't complete it next year. They can't even complete it in 2027. They can complete it, at least 30% of that whole 100% after 2027. That's what they've told you.
They didn't say that in the committee. I mean, as far as
completion forecast.
Well, he's
20% of hospitals.
reading his document. So.
but you've confirmed the authenticity of it.
Well, I said to you that I'm not going to contest it. I told you. I said I'm not contesting it.
So
and I don't want him to set a question for me. I mean, the public don't also have to...
But fundamentally, this confirms John Mahama's point, right?
This is a clear behavior of AFAG.
Excuse me. It confirms John Mahama that it is unrealistic
you see,
to
but
complete
Evans,
this within the time that the president set for himself.
My very good friend is succeeded in confusing listeners. And I want you to give me opportunity.
Oh my God.
I will.
Yes, thank you.
Except that this confirms John Mahama's point.
It doesn't.
Conclude, but I'll take it like that. I'll come back again.
I stand on my point that John Mahama have no basis to have attacked President Akufo-Addo for being overambitious. Indeed, I still stand by that. If he does that, he's been inconsistent, and it means that he doesn't believe in his own manifesto. And the NDC manifestos are nothing to write home about. It's just they scribble things, they don't believe in it. If he actually believed in it, he will see that Agenda 111 has some what he wanted to do is a subset of what President Akufo-Addo is doing. He wants to complete district hospitals in areas that has none, and there are 88 of them that has none. He also stated that he will build in P. He said, construct regional hospitals in the 6 new regions and the Western region. I don't think that kind of means that he wants to construct 1 or 2. It is categorical statement, close-ended. And therefore, he is going to do, and that is part of Agenda 111 anyway. They are doing 6 new regional hospitals and the Western region 1. He also stated that he's going to provide district hospital A, establish 2 national infectious disease centers. Absolutely, he is doing 96. And he is telling Nana Addo for being overambitious. He should not go scot-free. We need to learn something in this election here. Obviously, your platform is very authentic. Don't just say things. Probably times are gone where you could say things and go away. The kind of journalists we have, the kind of Ghana we have now, you cannot just do that. Before you say that, people can easily find the facts and cross-check you. So it's a lesson to all those who are leading political parties in this election. Don't just speak. Be prepared to defend what you have done, and that defines you. Otherwise, people would put a finger on you and identify you as lying or a liar. And that document was full of lies. Now, having put that aside, that I vehemently oppose to his assertion, and that is not true. Then I come to my good friend. He said that the Ministry of Health has standard hospitals. Indeed, Evans, I'm challenging you today. If you say the Ministry of Health has standard hospitals, go ask them what is a standard hospital for standard designs for hospitals. Go ask them what is a standard design for a regional hospital. It is nowhere near what is Rich Hospital or Accra Hospital. Nowhere near. So do you think John Mahama was overambitious to have gotten a modern American hospital of a certain, of which people would glorify it now, the phase 1? Tomorrow, we are prepared to come to your show again. I'm challenging you. Let the Ministry of Health give you what it has as a prototype of original hospital. It's nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. So why do we come and say a certain Ayew design hospitals, and the kind of hospitals they are putting everywhere is very ultramolding, so different a style, of which you will see, really is a different thing. It's not like that mediocre, small thing that they build everywhere. It's so different. So please, if we are moving forward as a country, let's move forward. But let's not impugn people's integrity with what we think it should have been and not what it is. Indeed, we should respect what others are doing. Now, for the issue of family and friends, I so much disagree with Kamina. I mean, please don't do that. What is the issue of family and friends? The people came to the committee. Some of them had not started because of land litigation issues. Bantama, they have mobilized money for contractors go on site because of the timelines. So government gave mobilization. Some contractors held it. They explained to us that the consultants they've not even used it because they have not gone on site because just before you go on site, there's litigation on the land. And these are few of them, about 10 to 15% of them. That is not the doing of the president, neither is it the doing of the secretariat. It is just because natural litigation on lands in this country, making your own project to execute so difficult, is what has set it back. Should we blame President Akufo-Addo for this? When everybody listening to me that in this country, there is that obvious problem of land litigation that can draw you back to decades and centuries for simple projects that you should execute. And if they have not done that, they are not the friends who have been giving money to go and squander. And for that matter, they've not done that. Let us look at the problem and tackle it. That's why Bantima, they have just started Bantima. It was land litigation issue.
But they went round. I remember when they went round with the journalists. I called you. And what they found was some of the hospitals that indeed mobilization has happened, and he was right. I mean, our reporter confirmed it. Had not started. Some of them.
So I can give you an update as of now. As of now.
Yeah.
Now, also, in terms of the 1.9 billion, I don't know where you got it.
1.9. It just down to, the president gave a figure at the time that he cut the short.
Yes, but as of now, it's about 1.56 billion.
But what has changed?
Yes, 1.5. As far as, well, probably, I'm sure we would put it in this regard. I am talking about some of the projects in terms of the six regional hospitals and the Western Region 1.
It costs us
external funding. External funding. And you cannot incorporate it into this now because it's based upon IMF and the way forward, external crediting. Now, the remaining now that we are holding dear to it is coming from the ABFA. And that's 20% of it is allocated. As of now, they've raised about $400 and something million to them. And it's dedicated funding. So we've taken the new regional hospitals, including the Accra Psychiatry Hospital, which is also external funding. That is why what we have is relatively lesser, and that is dedicated funding from the ABFA. ABFA fund is funds that are coming from the oil fields, and so long as it hits it is 20% is released to them. And this is our own money. You can decide to go and collateralize it and get huge money and complete Agenda 111. That is not what we are doing as a country. We just want to take the money as it comes.
But I wanted to respond to the findings they made when they went around the country, where hospitals and Agenda 111 that had mobilization already had not started.
So do you want me to also update you as of now what successes they've done in their zones?
In areas where they discovered that mobilization had happened and work had not started?
Yes, tremendous improvement. And others that as of... I've been to a couple of them. Just about a Hunter one, for instance, was about 50% completed as of last year, August.
The work is happening.
As I'm speaking now, they fitted air conditions. They are now putting equipment. So you might check your news tomorrow that I'm sure by the next
Hunter.
Yes, they are.
We will go there tomorrow to check.
I have pictures here. You want to see it?
That's no problem. We can verify.
Okay, that's fine. Just go and verify. So
we can verify.
It is projects ongoing, rapidly ongoing. Okay, and this is not for you people say if you go today and they are at this point, you go the next month, they'll be at the same place. But that is why I'm also prepared to update you now.
More substantively, do you have the holistic picture on where we are with all the district hospitals that
about now, the sites that are very active are 90 sites.
They are various stages of completion.
Yes, 90 sites are active. If you go today, you see that there are various stages and they are on. And it is the expectation by the Secretariat that by close to December, we should be able to be done with about 56 or 60, about 60 or 50, between 50 to about 60 of them
hospitals
should be completed and ready to use.
But
that itself tells you that as a country, we have achieved a lot.
Okay,
but universal access to healthcare.
But for the avoidance of doubt,
one that you be in Accra.
For the avoidance of doubt, and I'll take a break on this. For the avoidance of doubt, but I'll come back. Don't worry, make your notes. For the avoidance of doubt, all 111 hospitals will not be completed by January 7th.
Yes, I think so.
I'll take a break. When I return, I'll hear his thoughts on this.
Yes, I think
so. That has been settled. And so, where are we getting the funding from? Stay with me. So thank you for staying with us here on PM Express. We were talking about the biggest policy intervention in health as far as this government is concerned to build 111 hospitals. Just before the break, we got clarity on the subject of doing all 111 within the time that this current president has is simply impossible. It can be done now, but the estimate, as according to the chairman, is that maybe 50 or 60 will be done. And Mr. Kando, that you don't disagree with?
I don't even know why we are here and splitting hairs over this issue. Basically, what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is saying is what this document has said, and it is what Chairman has said. John Mahama simply said that, given the economic condition we find ourselves, given the time limit where we are, and the number of projects the president says he will do is overly ambitious. That is what we have all agreed.
We've mitigated that enough here.
No, but let's establish it.
Yeah, I mean,
we have all agreed that.
He does not even stand in the right of place to say that.
I mean,
why are you not allowing
we are going back to the beginning of the show.
Only 4 years.
Let's make progress.
96 hospitals.
Mr. Kando,
in 4 years.
So we have agreed.
Yeah, a very important.
His Excellency John
Mahama is coming for only 4 years. So he has only 4 years.
Chairman and ranking.
When we were talking,
Mr. Kando, let me ask a question. We just have a few minutes to wrap up.
Give me the. Oh, no wrapping
No,
up.
we have 3 minutes. We have 3 minutes.
Then let me make my point.
That is why when you were going there, I was drawing attention
please,
to it.
Please,
Yes.
this one, we have all agreed on it. He hasn't said...
No, you're still repeating. You're repeating your point.
Yes,
I'm making your
yes,
point.
so
I disagree.
Yes.
But you see,
It's in your
more
manifesto.
importantly, this is a man who, in the history of Ghana, when it comes to health infrastructure, nobody can beat him. Like
what is
a
the meaning of
man
that?
who has constructed the Rich Hospital, the man who has seen the expansion of Police Hospital, the Maritime Hospital, the University of Ghana Hospital,
Ghana is not Accra. And access to universal health care.
Dr. Freer.
Ghana is not Accra.
I'm going
It was only
The man
Dogoa.
who has seen Kumawu.
Which of them? No,
Now
it was only...
Dr. Freer,
The man who
I'll
has
come to you to make your point.
20%.
I'll come to you to make a point.
20%. Gary was not...
Yeah.
Today,
Dr. Freer, I'll come to you to make a point.
my chairman
was in Accra.
my chairman is not
Ghana
being
Ranking, proceed. Mr. Chairman, I'll come to you. I'll come to you to make your point.
So this is a man who has seen the construction of the Bekwai hospital, who has seen the 130-bed hospital, Maritime Hospital, the completion of the Brongahafo Regional Hospital, about 1,260 chip compounds, the Komfanoche Eye Care Center, 5 polyclinics in Upper West, that is Wuchau, Babie, Bulinsi, Ko, Han. You go to...
Those were all completed by the MP.
5 polyclinics in the northern region.
Did he?
This is theory.
Mr. Kando.
No.
Don't
go there.
Mr. Kando.
This is the man.
Did he
the hospitals are
Yes, all these hospitals I'm talking about.
It is not true.
Most of
Did
them.
he-
It is
not
not
up to completion.
It is not
Good.
But
Okay,
some
so
of
he's
them-
admitted. He's admitted.
Some of them were at
Some.
80% of what
he's admitted.
is competent.
He's admitted that not all.
Not all.
And I have all of them
For
here.
example, Formina
I have all of them here.
Formina was about 85% complete. And 7 years down the lane, Formina has not been completed.
Yeah.
Kumawu District Hospital.
It is done.
Bekwai was more than
Tepa is
70%.
I need to wrap up on this.
You
Are you
understand?
convinced,
And
though?
so,
Are you
if
convinced,
President
though?
Mahama says he will build hospitals,
Yeah.
nobody can doubt him.
Well,
Unlike the Euro-
But we are
but-
saying that
but-
you are only making promises
Unlike
for
the
making
Eurojet-
promise sake.
Okay.
Unlike the Eurojet that they
Dr. Freer,
abandoned.
it's okay. Let me hear him. Let me hear him for 1 minute so we can
Unlike
wrap
the
He
up.
Eurojet
built more
that
than
they
10
abandoned.
polyclinics.
I would have to
Central
close.
Regional
I will have to close if all of you talk at the same time.
So,
Let me hear him.
So,
All right, you
if
spoke.
you
Let
are
me hear
going
him.
to give a promise,
So it's my turn.
and
It's his turn.
So-
Let me hear
so
him.
it will come back to my
No,
turn.
it won't.
Why?
The time is
Because
up.
that is his third
So it's
thing.
my turn.
I will close.
This is his third
I will
thing.
close and deprive both of
That
you
is
your
his third
time.
thing. So I must have my turn.
No,
back.
time is up. Let me hear him.
How?
The
He's spoken a
Eurojet,
bit. Let me hear him.
the Eurojet
So-
hospital, 6 of them they didn't touch. They politicized it. They stayed it as it is. We came since 2008.
Which hospital didn't we
The
touch?
Eurojet hospitals.
Which ones?
You didn't do what? You didn't do any of the say. You didn't do any of them.
Please stop that. Stop
all
that.
all
Stop
the
that, stop
Eurojet
that.
ones, you abandoned. I even said it on the floor of Parliament. You did not. Now, let me also move forward. We have come to complete their projects. And
And you
is
see,
a government that believes in the fact that
interestingly,
you don't do
all these
politics
projects we
with
are
health.
talking about, we
You
have
don't do politics
secured
with health.
funding.
Okay.
You in the
all of
you didn't have any secure funding. You didn't have secure funding. You were just making policies without the
NMS
But that's the difference between John Mahama and you.
Mr.
You didn't have any. You didn't know where you were going to have money.
Just a
So even construct the hospital.
If you don't allow me to get this through, we will not serve our audience.
So
we are not serving our audience.
I must get
No, we just have to say. No, the free, please.
a lot.
No,
How?
time is address this question for me.
Okay, which one?
The 50 or 60 you say you're confident will finish.
Yeah.
Is there dedicated funding for it?
From ABFA.
For ABFA. Okay. Convince.
That is not true. We need more than $1.7 billion to complete this project.
No. He's talking about the 50
argument.
How much is he available? How much is it available that they are going to use to complete?
Then I come back to the NMS issue.
It is not true. There's no secure funding. You should show us in the budget where we have the funding to finance 50. It's not true. When they appeared, they said they had distributed 250.
Did not grant an LC to complete
Why are you talking about LC?
They used all the money on Dodo, and that was for 5 hospitals. That is NDC for you.
The question
is the MPP
do you
that has
have
come
the
to raise
secured
funding to complete
for the
your
people
own
you are
project?
But the answer is no.
I want to read document you authenticated about the funding. The projections was to complete the 25%. An estimated amount of $300 million will be required to support this output.
Yes. And we don't have the 300 million in our budget.
He says
but they have raised 400 million.
Okay.
In which budget?
They have given it to them.
In which budget?
You're talking about November 200 and some. They've released several tranches to them.
Even when you add the one in the 2024 budget, it doesn't even add up to 400.
Thank you. Are you going to make a news out of this tomorrow?
That's not true.
Call the secretariat and find how much money.
I am talking about the documents available to us in the budget.
I'm grateful that both of you.
I'm
grateful.
I'm speaking to the budget, 2024 budget.
I'm grateful that both of you joined me.
It's a dedication.
And thank you for joining us too. Enjoy the rest of your evening.